In this video, I'm going to show you how I shot stand-up comedy. I'm going to use the example of Kae Kurd's stand-up special. He shot 4 shows in one night. And there's a lot that I learned from shooting, and there's a few things that I'm sure I could have improved on. I'm going to go over them, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it, and it can definitely save you a pain in future shoots. Comics typically have quite a hectic lifestyle. Sometimes they will do a few shows in one night to test out their material, see what works and what doesn't work. In Kae Kurd's case, that's quite a tongue twister. In Kae's scenario, it was my responsibility to capture the audience reaction, capture the material, and capture his thoughts and feelings between rushing through different venues. This is super important because number 1, it gave him content to push on social media, and number 2, it allowed him to watch back on his previous performance to see what worked and what he can improve on. Shooting the behind the scenes of a comic is very ambiguous. It's almost like shooting a wedding, but you're actually collaborating with an artist. Each venue is completely different. Some can be small pubs, some can be large theatres, some of them can be packed out, some of them can be a bit more loose and give you a bit more freedom on how to shoot.
That's what I'm living with. Backstage, next to the ketchup. That's how you know I've done live video Apollo, you know. People go, bro, you made it. You made, bro, I'm next to ketchup.
However, the pace is really fast and you don't know what to expect. I had to be prepared for everything. So here are a few things that helped me along the way. Also, a few things that I would recommend to you. You need a lav mic. It is super important to capture the voice of the comic. If you had one job, just one bloody job, it is to capture the audio crisp and clear. You could have the most beautiful 4K footage in the world, but if the audio is not clear, it's absolutely meaningless. There's also a big difference between having the built-in mic, which is right at the back of the venue, rather than actually being able to have a lav mic on the comic himself and being able to hear the small little nuances, the pauses, the little details that go into making a great joke. But that's not all. For me, what really helped me in the editing process was being able to, number 1, have a backup of the audio, and number 2, I'm able to actually edit his audio separately and adjust his levels. And if there's any kind of dialogue between him and an audience member, I can boost that so in the actual final product, you can hear him clearly and even an audience member clearly and even the laughter. And it just makes for a great watching experience.
Bro, don't let him get on to you about being hench, you know, man. No, because like, you work for that shit, bro. Like...
Punch him in the face, bro. Like, what's he gonna do, bro? Right? Nah, you're hench. What do you eat, kids?
But I think just having a backup alone just makes it well worthwhile. So I really highly recommend just get the bloody lav mic. My next recommendation would be to have 2 cameras. We had one camera on the tripod to capture the main view of the performance right at the back of the venue, so you can see him and you can see him interacting with audience members. The second camera was on me, myself, handheld, capturing the little details, capturing the reaction of the audience members, stitching and chopping this up into the actual final product made for a better watching experience, because as he performed and delivered his content, we were able to see the audience reaction, the laughing. It actually felt like as if you were there watching right there and then. This leads on to other accessories such as a gimbal. And you might be wondering, you mentioned, Harris, that, hey, you were shooting handheld. Why didn't you use a gimbal? Well, for a few reasons that I learned on the shoot was, well, we did. We brought a gimbal and we found it to be quite a faff to set up. You see, having to go through 4 shoots in one night was quite cumbersome, and setting up the gimbal can kind of be a bit unexpected with updates and how the gimbal might react with different lenses, and sometimes we don't have time to sit and go through those. If it was a special that was planned, granted, I have time to plan for those situations, but a gimbal kind of held us back. Another thing I realized was it can be quite intimidating. Capturing the reactions of the crowd, handheld, felt a lot more comfortable. The audience didn't mind. They probably thought I was actually taking photos rather than capturing video. If I had a gimbal, I'm sure it would have taken away their attention rather than focusing on the comic's performance. Furthermore, Kae asked me to film this in my own run and gun style. You see, if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you know I love to shoot handheld, and I love to kind of emphasize the gritty London style that I like to show in my videos. He really wanted to emphasize that London gritty vibe, which meant shooting that urban style. A bit of handshake is an artistic choice. It really helps sell the story of rushing between venue to venue, and to keep it smooth, we use the strap technique. If you haven't seen that, there's a link down below in the description box of 7 ways how to shoot handheld. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Shooting handheld is never the end of the world as long as there's no micro jitter, so I highly recommend checking out that video. Using a camera strap or a weighted rig can really help mitigate those micro jitters, yet still giving you an artistic handheld look. So, having learned from that, I've now invested in a handheld rig which can give a bit of weight, it's portable, I'm able to give an extended battery life, and I can take the cage on and off without having to faff or balance it like I would with a gimbal. So overall, on the tech side of things, be minimal, focus on audio, and just have it accessible and ready to go. Alright, let's talk about the editing process. I've known Kae for over a year, and as a filmmaker, I find it very valuable to get feedback from someone in a different creative field. For me personally, it was really helpful having that relationship established early on because there was already an element of trust. So, having trust established is 100% vital and critical to the actual outcome before you even start shooting. I would highly recommend going for a beer or coffee or whatever you might want to do just to establish some kind of relationship to build trust on that creative direction that you two are planning to go for. Like I said, because we've known each other for a year, color grading and the B-roll style and all these little nuances, we already had the same taste, so it made our process a lot smoother and a lot easier. By being a creative partner and being able to collaborate on this project, I was able to actually show him the footage of all his material throughout the 4 different venues in that one night. It was really helpful for him to see that, and it was also really helpful for him to give me feedback as a filmmaker, and also maybe work on my own comedy. I'm funny too, right, Chloe? So my main point is being a creative partner rather than just simply a filmmaker. Beautiful B-roll and smooth footage doesn't really matter. It's more about being collaborative, working on the story together, providing value and giving good advice to make that person's project come to life. So there you go. That's my experience shooting Kae Kurd's stand-up experience. Watch the video, link down below, check the video out, give us some feedback. I'm really proud of it. And I hope these little tips and my experience of the little nuances will help you out in your future shoots. Let me know which one was your favorite. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you'd like to subscribe. And big up to Kae Kurd for trusting me in this creative process. Thank you for inspiring me to make this video. Check him out. Subscribe to his channel as well. And I will see you in the next video. Hope you like this. See you next time.
Yo, what's going on? So, as you're probably aware, because you've clicked on this video, I'm doing 4 sets in one night. So I've got my friend Hvris along with me. Hvris.
Hello, buddy.
He's going to be filming it. Go and check out his channel. What is it?
Hvris. It's Harris with a A upside down because there's so many Harrises in the world.
Because he's trying to be cool, basically. He looked at ASAP Rocky and he was like, I want to do the same thing. Go check out his channel, especially if you're into like videography and filming and whatever. He's got loads of little cool tricks and tips in order to get your videos looking better. I still haven't used them, that's why mine looks shit, but that's why I brought him along, so he's gonna do this. So make sure you check out his channel. But yeah, go and follow us to see what it's like to be a comedian for a night. Sound good?
Bloody good, innit?
Bloody good, innit?
Context. Comedians live quite a hectic... No.
You don't have to say context.
Context. It'd be funny if like, context. Context.